Ladies and gents, welcome back to the Let's Play. We need to start working towards the next tier of metal, which is going to be steel, the upgrade from iron. And to do that we need two things. We need borax and we need bauxite. Borax is a mineral, bauxite is a stone. I haven't found any bauxite, but borax is a mineral that spawns in certain types of rock like shale, conglomerate and chalk. So we're headed south, all the way south about 2,000 blocks to this shale area. And it actually turns into shale and conglomerate mix, which is really good. Really good chance of us finding some borax around here. And as you can see from the minimap, I've been doing some prospecting and luckily found a reading of borax. Circled around it to try and narrow it down, and the highest percentage reading is about 1.84% here. So, dug myself a little tunnel down. And not too far down, probably around 15 blocks or so, I started to actually get some readings. So let's check now on the node search mode. So on this side we've got medium amounts from the node search, and on this side we get large amounts on this side. So there should be some borax probably in this corner here. So I thought we would do this together on camera, as it's a really important step. It's also a good chance for me to get some conglomerate rocks as well for our collections. And I'm thinking it's probably going to be below. Alright, let's check again. Medium amounts. So it went from large here to medium there. So it kind of has to be around here, maybe up, maybe down. Let's dig around and try and find it. Ooh, what do we have here? I think that might just be the borax. Yes, lovely. Hopefully there's a good amount of it, because this does seem like quite an important mineral for us to use. Basically, we only really need it to weld the iron anvil together. Looks like we get one piece per thing. It kind of looks like quartz. And while we mine this out, let's also talk about the plans for this episode. So in today's episode, I have actually found myself an iron vein, a large iron vein, which I've been mining out. I've got a decent amount of iron from it already, and there's still more to get. And with this new iron discovery, it means we can finally upgrade our windmill to the new large windmill size. Hopefully get some more power. And while we're doing that, we might as well also make the pulverizer, because we're going to need a pulverizer to pulverize the bauxite into powdered bauxite to make the refractory bricks, which is what we need to make steel. So this is the first step, the borax to weld the iron anvil together. And if we don't manage to find any bauxite in this episode, then we're going to do some stuff with some new mods that I've added. I've added substrate, which allows us to farm mushrooms with fruiting bags, growing beds, and spore paper. The spore paper might be an issue, and we can use them in another new mod, which is called Steep and Brew, which is going to allow us to brew mushrooms and flowers into teas. Both hot and cold variants. Every mushroom, every flower, and combinations of both mushrooms and flowers give a whole bunch of different teas, which give different effects, like warming you up in the winter time, cooling you down in the summer. And some of the good ones could even give us some buffs, such as mining speed buffs and other things like that. Healing buffs, maybe. We'll have to do some experimenting, some brewing, and figure out what the good ones are. The main tea that I'm interested in with this is the psychedelic teas apparently actually give us temporal stability. And if I'm going to be building a massive castle in a temporally unstable area, I'm going to need all the help I can get with temporal stability stuff. And also, we spend a lot of time in this world, and most of the time we're just surviving. All the time, just surviving. And I'd like to thrive as well as survive. So I'd like some buffs, like some potion effects from Minecraft. Some different buffs I think will be cool. Like these, the mining speed and stuff from the new tempering and quenching is really, really cool. And yeah, I'd like to get some more things like that. So we're checking out some mods that give us some buffs and some upgrades that allow us to not only survive, but thrive as well. And we can make Poorly Punchwood proud. Okay, I think we've pretty much got all the borax. There's a few hidden pieces behind the walls here, but I think we've pretty much got it all. We have an entire stack plus 21 borax. Hopefully that's enough. I really don't know if that's going to be enough, but hopefully it is. Also, I managed to find some blue clay over here, which is a really good find. First time actually finding this, so I've got a few stacks of that to take home. And there is another mod that I've added that allows us to get some special boosts and bonuses and effects. Now this one might be a little bit controversial though, so I'm not really going to talk about it too much. But I am going to play around with it in the background because it offers some really nice boosts and bonuses. I've also been on the lookout for some different types of berry bushes because the new update, not only did it change the berry bushes, it also added a whole bunch of different and new ones like this one, beauty berry bush. I've already got a whole bunch of cuttings from that. There's also strawberries and raspberries that I've found along the way. So yeah, we definitely need to keep an eye out for some funny looking bushes. And it's also about that time of year that all the fruit trees start fruiting. So we got a pink apple tree here. And all the trees back home, all the fruit trees back home are going to be fruiting too. So we need to make our way back home quickly. Okay, well we made it home. It looks like our fruit trees are indeed fruiting, so we need to deal with that. Store up all of our fruit and harvest it. Also, another bonus. We have pumpkins. We have pumpkins. It actually worked. Didn't think it was going to work, but it worked. Yeah, I need to clear up some inventory. We're going to harvest the pumpkins, harvest the fruit trees, and we're going to see what we can do with the pumpkins other than just craft seeds out of them. Alright, let's get ourselves a knife and let's find out what can we do with the pumpkins. How do we harvest them? Right click to pick up. Okay, nice. Let's grab this one as well. Hopefully when we harvest these, the rest they'll keep growing. Yeah, so it's not even fully grown. 7 out of 8. Maybe we shouldn't have harvested them. No, they're mature. Okay. How close are you? 7 out of 8 as well. So very nice, very nice. Hopefully we will get some more pumpkins out of that. Can we turn these into seeds? We can. 1 seed per pumpkin. I thought I was going to need a knife. Oh, the knife turns into slices. Aha. So, let's get our seed back. And then let's make some slices. 140 saturation, we get 4 slices. So, it's like 340 saturation per pumpkin. Not too bad. And with the pumpkin slices, yeah, we can just make normal meals. We can make pies. That's really good. Also, pot pies are now a thing, so we can mix meat and vegetables. We'll have to make some pot pie at some point, as that's a new thing. But first, let's get all of these fruit trees harvested. Well, I spent some time tending to the various farms we've got, and also building a greenhouse over here. And unfortunately, it seems like our pumpkin plants have died. It says withered pumpkin plant, and pretty much straight after I picked the pumpkins, they just kind of turned into withered vines. And no more pumpkins for us this year, unfortunately. So next year, I think we're going to have to do something different. Maybe just 1 seed. I think I also read it needs to have 5 blocks space in every direction, so we're going to have to thicken this fenced-off area out. Anyway, it's about time we upgrade our windmill sails. So, about 12 ingots worth of iron gives us this metal windmill rotor. And these 36 stitches here is pretty much my entire year's worth of flax, plus these 3 stacks here as well. Well, that's going to give us a whole bunch of large windmill sail sets. To make this, you got to make sure that the wood is strong enough. Only certain types of wood will work. I think 4 more stitches should give us another set of sails, so 5 sets total. And there we go. I think that's going to just about do it. I'm not sure what the max is. It might only be 4, but let's try it out, shall we? Alright, it seems we've picked a good day to do this because there's no wind. As I say that, there's no wind. There's literally been no wind all day. And as I start talking, it starts. Let's break that. Let's get our bigger version on. We might have to do this. Yeah, we might have to do this the other way. Actually, is that correct? I think that might be on the correct way. Let's check. 1 set, 2 set. Oh, this is not going to be as big as I thought it was going to be. Okay, remove some of the dirt. Let's try. This is a small set, isn't it? That's why it's not letting me put it on. Okay, another one. Another one. That should be 5 sets of large sails. Okay, large windmill upgrade done. It does look like we might be able to get another set of sails on there, so I'll have to work on that. I think I do have some more flax planted just over there. And I think we need 8 stitches for this, and I think we just about have enough for another set. Yep, 1 more set there. Now let's see, can we do 6 sets? We can actually do 6 sets. Oh my god. Maybe we can do 7. I'm not going to be able to find out because that is all the flax. Actually, maybe before winter hits we'll get another sail's worth of flax. And I never actually put a floor in this thing. There's no floor in the bottom floor. And to be honest, I'm getting pretty annoyed with having to run all the way up this thing every single time to use the health hammer or any metalworking stuff. So I'd like to have an axle running down all the way straight down to the bottom, and we do all of our metalworking stuff down there. But I think all of those axles is going to be too much strain on the system, and it's going to have no power by the time it gets down there. But we're never really going to know unless we try it. So I think we're going to have to go and find a whole bunch of resin to make probably another 30 axles. I've got about 5 spare. But we're going to need, I think, around 30 axles to go all the way down here. And also add a pulverizer and some other things. Transmission and clutch for this guy, so we can just turn it off and on when we want. We also need to make an iron anvil, which is going to take around 10 ingots of iron. I've got 2 left over after making a few tools and the windmill stuff. And it's probably a good idea to take this contraption down to the bottom as well, so you don't have to keep running all the way up here. I would also like to get into the mushroom growing and tea brewing stuff in this episode as well. And it turns out, after looking again, that this spore paper for the mushrooms doesn't just take aquavitae. Yeah, you can actually use lime water or diluted borax as well. And it's 50 times the amount, but 5 liters for 1 load of mushrooms is not too bad at all. But the first thing we're going to need for the tea brewing is a steeping jar and a clay kettle that we're going to need to make out of clay and then fire up. So there's the clay kettle. And there's the steeping jar. It looks like the kettle kind of looks fired already. Maybe we don't need to... Oh, it does say we need to fire it in a pit kiln. Okay. So I'm going to get these cooking while we go searching for mushrooms. It would be a lot handier if there wasn't a portal right above it. You can actually get 4 things in here, so it might be worth making 2 more. 1 more of each. I'm going to do that, actually, so we can do bulk brewing. Okay, 2 of each sounds better than 1 of each, if it's the same amount of resources to cook it. Okay, and if my friends let me, let's get this cooking. Okay, well that was close. When I found out why the lantern disappeared from our elk, it's basically because there are now 2 versions of lanterns. Before there was just 1, but now there are large lanterns, which are the old lanterns. They now cost like twice as much. And the old recipe still works, but it now makes a smaller version, just the regular small lantern, which gives off light level 18. And this new large version gives off a light level of 20, so like double the resources, but for only 2 light level more. I think I'd rather just have like 2 small lanterns than 1 large, but I can buy the large ones really easy, quite cheap actually, off our traders there. Yeah, luckily our new trader actually sells lanterns pretty cheap. 11 gears there for a large tin bronze lantern, so that's how we're going to be getting them. Also wrote... He's invincible. He just respawns. If I move him, he teleports back here. If I kill him, he just respawns. Luxuries contract. There you go. And there's the smaller version, actually. And that's 18 gears. So, 11 for the big one, 18 for the small one. I don't think I'll take that trade, mate. Speaking of trades, this guy here actually had 5 different types of glass the other day. He's still got the yellow. So I made sure to buy a whole bunch of those, because it turns out you can actually use the colored glass for greenhouse roofs, which is pretty cool indeed. Wait, is that an Arctic? That's a white fox? Yo, hold up. Arctic fox. Oh no, we have to trap this guy. That is too cool for us not to try and trap. Okay, if we put him in with the chickens, that's going to be very bad. If we put him in with any of our animals, it might be a bad idea. Where can we trap this guy? Ooh, we could trap him in the outhouse. Go in there. Yes, okay. I'm going to leave you in there. In fact, hold up. Let me give you a light source. Some animals can despawn without a light source, so let's just make sure that this lantern is in there with him. And we'll see. We'll see if our little Arctic fox guy despawns. If he doesn't, we'll make a little house for him. Okay, well, there's about 24, 26 axles to get all the way down here. It's still just barely turning. So let's find out if we can run the Helve Hammer all the way down here. Okay, let's get the hammer on and then a couple of angled gears and we should be in business. My god, it's so slow. Now let's check the wind. Okay, the wind looks like it's actually going quite fast. Spinning reasonably fast up here. I think it's just... it's not enough power to transfer all the way down there. Anyway, let's get ourselves a pulverizer frame. And to get this thing to work, we're also going to need a toggle, 2 pounders, and 2 pounder caps to go on the pounders. We need a plate for the toggles, so let's get the pounders ready. 2 of those, and we're also going to need at least another 4 ingots of something. So, this is all the iron that I've gathered so far from the iron mine. There is more, quite a bit more I think, but yeah, we've got a lot of iron to get through. And each stack of this medium hematite is going to give us 2 lots of 120 plus another 80. So that's 6, 6, and 4. 16 ingots per stack. And there's 17 stacks. That is a lot of iron. So we're going to get another 2 bloomeries worth of iron cooking. And then we should be able to make the pulverizer. Well, the upgraded windmill doesn't seem a whole lot faster. But it does seem a whole lot more consistent in terms of the wind speed. This thing's just constantly going at a regular speed, which is nice. We've also got the clutch installed now, so we just click it on and off. Need a transmission for that to work, obviously. I say obviously like I didn't fumble around with the clutch by itself a few episodes ago. Anyway, let's get a few more iron blooms cooked up, and we'll get the pounder caps made up. So yeah, not the cleanest setup. I had to kind of mess around with all of these things to fit the clutch and the transmission, but I think I can do a slightly better job with this pulverizer. So, pulverizer frame there. I'm going to have the transmission connected to that with a clutch connected onto that. And then we should be able to just gear straight from that and then gear onto there. Should get that working. Now we just need the toggle, and I've made the iron plate for that. So toggle goes in, that allows it to spin. Then the pounders go on. Pounder caps, please add 2 caps at the same time. I have 2 caps. Do we have to stack them? Okay, pounder caps, there we go. Now engage the clutch, and we've got a pulverizer. Now this is going to crush up stone and it's going to spit it out. I think we've actually put it on backwards. It's supposed to be the other way around so that it spits it out here and we can have a hopper. And this hopper I kind of stole from here. We don't really have a lot of copper at the moment, so I'm going to have to make another one of those, and we're going to have to get a chest underneath it as well. I don't have to necessarily because it will store the stuff in here, so maybe just a hopper to keep it nice and clean. So we don't have a floating chest in the floor there. Let's disengage that and let's quickly turn this round so it actually works properly. Okay, this way? Yes, that's the way we want it. So the slope faces that way. Pounders and the pounder caps. Hang on, yeah, that is right. Yes, it should slope down there and they should fall in there. So, okay, slight issue. To automate the putting in of minerals to the pulverizer, we need to have a chute connected to the opposite side of this, I believe, or maybe the back. Can't be the front because that's where the stuff's falling out. So we need to move this forward 1 block and kind of get rid of our fireplace thingy here. Okay, now this should work. Connect everything here. Whoops. Get a gear there. And yes, everything should work there. And then we just need to put a chute under this chest that connects into there, hopefully. Okay, the chute that we want is an elbow chute. We want it to go down from the chest and left into there. So luckily, all that time ago, I made 2 extra chute pieces. It came in handy. So hopefully, this is the right one. Elbow chute. Yes. Okay, so let's try this out. We're going to need crushed olivine for refractory bricks for making steel. This is basically the second tier. You need crushed bauxite, crushed quartz, and crushed olivine. We don't have any bauxite, but we can crush up the quartz with this. And we can also try the olivine. I'm not entirely sure if we can with iron caps or if we need steel. It did work. Okay, that's really good. So we could skip tier 1 and just go straight to tier 2 refractory bricks. That's insane. As long as we find bauxite, that is. So I think the next plan of action is going to be looking for bauxite. We are going to adventure off to the west. So in the last episode we hit up the Lazaret and it was quite a few thousand blocks, probably like 2,000 blocks to the west. And the village, I didn't actually show it. Well, I did show it, but the footage got cut. So it's another 2,000 blocks or so from 3,000, basically 4,000 to 7,500. 3,500 blocks further to the west. Maybe, if we get lucky, we might actually find some bauxite. So we're going to head there. If not, we're also going to collect some flowers and some mushrooms to check out the new brewing stuff, because our kettle should be done right about now. Whoop, that is not ideal when we're about to head off on a journey. So I'm going to heal up. I'm going to put all my inventory junk away. And we're going to head out to the west and try and find this village. Well, that is quite the sight. That is way more impressive than I expected it to be. Fruit tree. Pink apple. We've already got loads of those. Wow. That castle looks incredible. How do we get in here? Wow. Hopefully one of these guys has got a bed for me to sleep in. Yeah, so the main reason I came here was for building inspiration, because, wow, this looks incredible. What is this thatch? It's like... oh, aged thatch. Yeah, okay. Let's get the lantern out. Oh, that's cool. I'm guessing that's like Jonas or Falks or someone like that. Look at this. I want to check out the castle though. That looked incredible. You sound strange. Yeah, that is really cool. Can we can even go in here. Crates. It's got a little kitchen and everything. These tables are cool. I'm assuming I can't, like, take any of this stuff. Can't even look in it. No, okay. Shame we can't steal any of this. Oh my god, cheese. Ooh, fancy little upstairs with a chandelier wallpaper. Okay, yeah, castle's cool. Got lots of stuff there. I can sleep in the bed. Nice. Okay, we get to see it in the daytime. That'll be even better. Okay, now we should actually be able to see. And all the villagers should come out as well. I'm guessing, yeah, we can't access any stuff. I want this flower pot. I want these antlers. I want all of this decoration stuff. Yeah, I'm assuming I have to talk to one of these villagers specifically. You look menacing. Okay. A temporal storm is not good. That is not what we want when we're out here. Let's see if we can talk to some of these villagers and maybe get some information as to why we've been sent here, I guess. What is your name? Tad is my name. Barber Surgeon. Barbara? Okay, Barbara, yeah, okay. Okay, he's like he's a doctor. What is this place? You have found yourself in Nadia, the greatest bastion of civilization within a decent walking distance. I don't know about that, dude. It was like 10,000 blocks to get here. I said, what have you got to trade? Not sit down and ignore me. We have beds and a butterfly. That is a cool bed. I don't know about 13 gears, though. I did actually bring some gears. Not many. I think we got like 40-something. 43. What about you? What's your name? You're the tailor. Okay. What the hell? You sell freaking shivers. You sell a tamed elk and a moose. Okay, this kind of tempting. Yeah, I think this has got the previous mod. It's bugged out 421 days because this is what the previous trader mod thing. If I wanted to buy a trader, that's what it looked like when I had to change the mods. Anyway, let's see if there's any more people. There is another person here. Aha, I see you hiding here. What's your name? Gerhardt. Okay, someone told me about you. You might be the person that I need to speak to. You're a hunter. Baby fox. Yep, we won't be trading with you. I'm looking for work. This is a new dialogue. Bring you some small rawhides, 10 of them. Sure. Okay. I suppose we're gonna go hunting then. Okay, just in time. Medium temporal storm is imminent. And I need to skip the night anyway, so perfect. As soon as this comes in, we're gonna sleep. Okay, yep, nope. We're not having any of that. We're going to sleep. Yep. None of that, please. Oh, there's a new guy. Norbert. Okay. Nice mustache, Norbert. Just doing some hunting near the village, and I noticed there's a whole bunch of brown coal pieces on the floor. So there's a pretty decent deposit down here, and it's also in claystone, which is something we've never had before. And claystone, we need to get the grindstone. So I've got at least one piece of natural stone. I'm going to get a few more, and then we can add the grindstone to our setup as well. And I'm going to take a whole bunch of coal because I brought the mining bag, and I'm running out of inventory space. Also, raccoons give raccoon hides now instead of normal hides. So that's going to be an issue. It's mainly just rabbits and baby deer that I'm going to have to hunt. I think foxes give fox hides as well now. One cool thing is we can actually make hats out of those things now. So we can have a raccoon hat. I might have to make that at some point. Okay, there is a lot of coal here. I'm going to take about 2 stacks and we'll come back for the rest. We've also got some strawberry plants here. I need the hides. Okay, I've literally looked in every single house in this village twice over trying to find this guy. Finally, I've looked here as well twice, 3 times maybe. I've got your 10 raw hides. Here's your payment. No idea. Oh, iron arrows he gave me. Or maybe the iron arrows were spare. Oh yeah, he gave me like 12 gears or something. 10 maybe. Okay, so I'm confused. I've spoken to like everybody in this village and nobody has told me anything about like the story or any advancements to the main quest, I don't think. Who are you? Okay, I have spoken to you as well. Okay, well I just googled it and it seems like I'm supposed to bring the letter that I found in the lazaret. I'm supposed to bring it here. So, 7,000 blocks home we go. Before all these mushrooms and stuff rot. And before I starve to death, because I can't pick any bushes around here either. Okay, we need an artisan trader, because oh my god, tapestries, painted vessels, painted planters and pots and tiles, oh my god. We need one of these. He resets in 2 days. I'm going to come back with the letter and try and see if this guy gets a contract to get a copy of him. Okay, I got 2 planters, 2 vessels, and a plant pot for my 40-something, 50-something gears. I'm going to spend a couple of days making some bread, restock our gears, and come back. See if we can get a contract. And also visit a few more traders along the way. Well, I was on my way back to the village with the letter. And I came across one of these new randomly generated dungeons. And so far, I've gotten a whole bunch of loot. And in here is even more loot. It's a lantern, a large moldy bee chalk-ass lantern. It's actually light level 20. Oh no, that's standard for the new one, isn't it? Okay, anyway. Alright, we'll be taking that. I might even use that now instead of the gold one. I didn't mean to drop the gold one. Give me that back. And I need to go back up to the surface, offload all of this stuff. I think we can actually take this contaminated coal and use it. But I need to drop some stuff off with the elk and come back in here because there's still like another 3 rooms to this place that I haven't looted. These things are absolutely massive and they've got really good loot. Like so far, brass ingot, zinc ingot, tin ingot, 10 fire clay bricks, couple of vessels, bunch of crates, a blackguard helmet which is broken. I think we can repair it though. Little chest that we can use and place, torch holder. There's probably another couple of torch holders on the walls somewhere if I look closely. Oh, yeah, you're right there. There's another torch holder. Did we pick that up? We did. And that one... yeah, we can't take that one. Yeah, it doesn't burn quite as hot or quite as long, but it's still... we can still use it. And I think we can actually paint with it as well. Okay, it wasn't really a whole lot else in there, but there was like 4 stacks of aged firewood, some powdered charcoal, regular charcoal, contaminated coal. And the inventory is full, but it's nighttime, so I'm going to go see if I can sleep in one of these old beds down here. Okay, Gerhardt, I have the letter. I've been told you're the guy that I'm supposed to bring it to. The writing of the hermit? We can't read it. Why do we call him the hermit? Okay, tell me how to find this madman. I cannot. He's a sorcerer of great power. Okay, I think we got it. She sends him deliveries and stuff out in the wilds. Can I have the map? Hell yeah. It reads as follows. Before you come and meet me, you must make your way to the devastation. There is a tower there. You must climb it and take the lens that rests upon its peak. It will not be easy, but this must be done if we are to succeed. You can read that? I can read that, yeah. It's a cursed land full of horrors. Legend says it clawed itself out of the rift many years ago. Okay, back to Gerhardt, and maybe we'll get a location for this devastation. If I gave you the path, I'd be sending you to your death. Well, no need to worry about me. I can't die, bro. Let it be on your head then, whatever comes of it. Take this. The devastation will be hard to miss. Okay, we got 2 maps. Okay, one to Tobias's cave, one to the devastation, and the thing said we can't go to Tobias's cave without the lens. So, approximate location of the devastation added to my map. Looks like it's north. Unfortunately, I kind of wanted to go south, but oh my god. Okay, well that's like 3,000 blocks, 3,500 blocks north from where I am now at the village. And the village is like 6,000, 7,000 blocks away from the base. So yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon. And as we didn't really find any bauxite in this episode, I think in the next one we're going to have to adventure south and hopefully find some bauxite. We're basically just going to have to keep adventuring until we find bauxite, because I want to get to steel before we hit 300 hours. And I've got about 50 hours until we hit that mark, so that's going to be the plan for the next episode, I think. But for now, we're going to head home and we're going to try out some of the new tea brewing stuff. That is a wolf. Let's not go near that guy. Alright, let's get this grindstone crafted. We'll turn it into a grinding wheel. There we go. Although, all 4 outputs of our thing are actually being used up. So the grindstone we're going to have as like a temporary thing. And when we want to use it, we can just break that transmission and hopefully put it on there. Yes, and it does work. Now this should give us temporary buffs to our weapons. Possibly even tools. I'm not too sure if it's going to buff our tools. Not too sure how long we need to do this for either. Let's take a look. Sharpened. Oh, there you go. 1% critical hit chance. Is it going to go up? It did actually go up to 5% now, so that's not too bad. Might use that some more. I'm guessing it takes a little bit of the durability down to give it a buff. Let's check. Is that going to work on a pickaxe? No. Hammer? No. Didn't think so. Just swords. That might even work with axes, but my axe is unfortunately down at the bottom of this thing. And I'm not coming all the way back up here. Now, let's check out some of the stuff from the substrate mod. I have sealed some parchment in this barrel of lime water here, and we've got some sterilized spore paper. I think now we have to let it dry. So while we wait for that, let's craft up some growing beds for us to propagate our mushrooms. I think we can do that with different types of fertility. Yeah, it doesn't actually... Okay, that's strange. High fertility gave me 100%. Medium gives me 100% as well. So definitely don't use your high fertility soil on that. And we're also going to make some fruiting bags. So flax twine, dry grass, and any grain of your choice. That's going to give us these fruiting bags. Okay, more flax here. Let's get another fruiting bag. Now let's try and put them somewhere where I don't have to move them. I'm probably going to put the tea shop somewhere around here. So, grow bed here. That's quite big actually. Wow. That looks really cool. We'll do another one next to it. The last one we'll save and we'll put somewhere else. We'll have 2 grow beds here and then next to it, a few blocks gap. And we'll put down a couple of marble blocks, not marble, chalk polished. And where are the fruiting bags? Here they are. Put those in there. And when this spore paper is dry, we can use it to grow mushrooms on these things and these things. The growing beds are for floor mushrooms and the bags are for tree growing, sideways growing mushrooms. Now, let's also check out the brewing and steeping mod. We've got our kettles ready made up here. Let's get those in the fire. We're going to throw a liter of water in each. And we'll start making some tea. There is various types of tea. If we search up here, you've got all these different types of tea you can make. Basically, like 156 different types. Every flower and every mushroom has its own tea. And you can also combine them to make combinations or compound brews. So some of the individual ingredient teas are actually going to give you some special effects, but the majority of them are just going to be a little bit of food, a little bit of thirst, and maybe cool you down or heat you up, depending on whether it's a cold brew or a hot brew. But all of these compound ones actually have some good effects. So the Gardener's Brew keeps you cool for a while after drinking it, not that great. The Battle Brew actually fills you with strength, not too sure what that actually means. I'm guessing makes your attacks more damaging. This one takes the fly agaric, some woad, and some red top grass, and a little bit of water, obviously. You've got the bog walker, which is cow parsley, horsetail, and red top. And this one says it gives a little spring in your step, which I'm assuming makes us walk faster. Now, we've got a steeping jar here, and I have actually made a liter of bog walker for us to try. You may also notice I've got a bowl here that's got some cold wavy cap tea, which if we check the cold wavy cap, it's just a little bit of cooling, nothing really special. Although it does say edges of the world begin to shimmer. Psychedelic effects, I'm guessing. But the hot wavy cap actually says reduces your paranoia. And this is the main, like, I want something that's going to reduce the temporal, or give us more temporal stability. If the gear's going backwards, we want something to restore it. And there's 2 effects, I'm not really sure which one is which. Reduces paranoia. And this one brings you back to reality. Moonlit Calm, which is mugwort, ghost pipe, and bluebells. Mugwort is a cool name, sounds like a British insult. But yeah, I'm not too sure which one is going to bring us back the temporal stability. I'm guessing it's the paranoia one. But we're going to try. So we're going to brew up some wavy cap tea in here. We only need 1 wavy cap, and then we go 1 liter of hot wavy cap tea. We'll get that fired up. There we go, and we can drink the cold one just to see what it gives us. It's just psychedelic effects, maybe a bit of cooling. And the bog walker, we've already checked what that gives us. And I've actually got another one over here, which is empty. I had this, Forest Spring. I put cow parsley, cornflower, and wild daisy. And that's also a little spring in your step, but kind of annoyed that it's just disappeared. That's very strange. Anyway, let's try this bog walker. See what we get. This is about to finish, so let's quickly grab that. I'm assuming we have to pick the kettle out and then take it from there. Yep. Right click with a bowl. So let's test these out. Also, you may notice I've got berry bushes. There's actually berry bushes around this entire thing. I've been putting in the work. Actually, it's not the entire thing. There's some missing here, but pretty much the entire thing. Anyway, let's check out this speed boost. This is how fast we run normally. Pretty fast. Now let's drink the bog walker and let's see how much it increases. I'm not really noticing a difference, to be honest. Maybe we have to drink more than one drink, but I'm guessing one drink should be enough. It's maybe making me jump a little higher. I'm not too sure about that. Let's check. Let's check quickly. We have some dirt. Can I jump 2 blocks? No. And it would actually be nice if there was some way of showing what kind of effects we've got going on. Could even put it in the traits category. But yeah, nothing to show us we've got any kind of boost. Actually, walk speed is 110%. But I think I get extra for being a hunter. So yeah, it doesn't really seem much faster. Doesn't seem to have really made much of a difference. Anyway, let's get our temporal stability down. And then we'll drink this wavy cap. And we'll see what that does. Is it going to cool down? Okay, I hear a portal. That's a quick way to get our temporal stability down. There we go. See if we can find Dave. Dave? You here? No. No Dave today. Okay, well I think that should be enough for a test. It's just at the edge of the inside part. So 50%. Let's try. Does reduces paranoia give me temporal stability? It definitely did. Yeah, went up by 10%, if not 11%. That is huge. One wavy cap, 10% temporal stability. I could fill these jugs, and I could build that castle without having to come back down. It is making me hallucinate quite a bit, but that is going to help massively when building this castle. And there's also some other cool ones, like the Smith's Dram. Makes you hit a little harder, makes your pick come down a little harder. So I'm guessing that's mining speed and also damage, extra damage. Grit and Grain, which says hunger creeps in slower than usual, so extra or slower hunger rate. Bowman's Tonic, I'm guessing is... Oh, bow shoots a little faster. I thought it would be ranged accuracy, but actually shoots a little faster. Wanderer's Rest. Keeps you cool. Healer's Tonic makes you feel a little better, so it does some healing. That is Chanterelle, Reishis, and Wild Daisies. We need to find this. This is in a few recipes that have good effects. Speaking of we need to find, there is actually coffee. This mod adds a coffee bush. We need to find that. Although the effect is just spring in your step, so I'm guessing, yeah, if it's anything like that other tea we had, not really going to do much. And Iron Stomach, you barely notice missing a meal. This one's really easy as well. Almond mushrooms, lupines, and daisies. We got tons of those, and tons of those growing around. So this is going to be an interesting mod to play with. I'm thinking the main mushrooms I want to grow are going to be Chanterelle and Wavy Cap. There was actually... yeah, there was another recipe that I wanted to try out, which was Forager's Refresher, which gives... oh, it is just a little spring in our step. Maybe I don't want to try that. Let's try it anyway. We've got a Wild Daisy. We've got a Cow Parsley. Let's get ourselves a Chanterelle. And with our bowl of water, just right-click onto the steeping jar. That puts the water in here. And then put your ingredients in. Seal it up. It's going to tell you what it's going to make. Forager's Refresher. Seal it up. And it takes 16 hours, but eventually you will have a tea. Hopefully your tea just doesn't disappear like mine did. Also, another cool thing about the tea, you see here this pink bonnet gives us minus 10 HP if we eat it. But if we check the cold brew recipe, it says stings going down, which I'm assuming means it takes some of the damage off it and might actually make that a viable food source. If you're struggling for food on like a hardcore world or something, this could be a really good addition. Now, let's try out this substrate mod. I'm going to put the third planter down. Let's grab our spored paper, and I believe we just craft it with a mushroom, no? Okay, it says obtained by placing 4 of the same mushroom onto prepared spore paper and waiting for collection to be complete. So, does that mean we have to place it down? It does. Okay, we have to place it down. Let's get 4 of these down, actually 5, because we got 5 things. Crap, if I'd have known we needed 4, I would have got more Chanterelles. That sucks. Okay, let's get 4 wavy caps on this one. I'm guessing we can't mix and match these things. Let's also get 4 almond mushrooms on this. 4 chicken of the woods here. And 4 dryad saddles. We're going to need to get some more mushrooms, mainly the chanterelles I want to have more of. Now, 12 hours remaining on that. Also, I did actually make a whole bunch of pot pies, which is meat and vegetables. So I've got some there, another one there. I've already eaten 2 as well. Alright, now this is the iron mine. As you can see, been a whole bunch of iron dug out from here. And that's what you've seen in my chest. Let's not die down here without any armor. There is still a whole bunch of iron. This is a big section here. Goes a few blocks back. This is another section here. So there's still probably a good few stacks worth of iron. I need to get this lit up so we don't have big problems down here. But yeah, I've been busy. Been busy mining out all of this stuff. And I think I have something that might be able to help me out even more with that. So if you check the buffs on these things, 20%, 25% drop quantity is intriguing. I don't know whether that's 25% more rocks when we mine the stone, or a 25% chance to get another piece of ore from this iron. So we're going to try it out. And let's see, what does that do? Does that give us any chance of getting an extra ore? 1 piece, 1 piece, 1 piece. 1 piece. I mean, the speed is good, but I was really hoping that that would give us a better drop rate. It literally says drop quantity, but we're only getting 1 piece. Let me check. How many stones do we get? That was like 3. There's 3 stones. Maybe it's like mob drops for killing mobs? Not entirely sure. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be dropping any extra ore. It's literally just 1 piece every time. That's a shame, because if this dropped like if this was a 25% chance to drop an extra piece of iron every time, this would be my favorite mod in the game. Okay, let's check this. Ranged accuracy 130%. This should give me an extra 20%. Okay, well, usually it would give a message in the chat. It didn't do that. And it didn't upgrade the ranged accuracy, so I'm wondering if these buffs are actually working. I'm going to mine all this stuff out till my pickaxe is done. And then we're going to head home and hopefully the mushroom spores are ready. That is not what I expect. Okay, it's supposed to rot, I'm guessing, because it says imprinted spore paper. Let's put our iron away. I got another 2.5 stacks of iron. There is still absolutely tons down there. Probably another... I don't even know. Probably another 10 stacks worth of iron, I'd say, down there. Anyway, let's grab our most important ones. Wavy cap. Oh, we have to pick the rot off them first. Okay, that's kind of cool. Now, we can pick up... Do we have to break it? Okay, we broke it. Let's pick these up, and then we split them into 4 uses, which is really handy. Split into 4 uses. Looks like a bandage, but it's a spore paper. We're going to put them on here. So shift and left click, or right click even. Left trigger for me. Mycelium colonizing in 39 hours. I don't know if the winter's going to affect this. Temperature shouldn't really affect mushrooms, right? Anyway, dryad saddle on there. It's going to take a while before we see anything. Also, they all have different ones. So that's 33, that's 39. Kind of cool. Most importantly, let's get the wavy cap in there. I'm guessing, yeah, 1 spore print does the whole bed. Let's also get an almond mushroom in there. And you know what? I think we're going to go with a double wavy cap just because they're going to be so important with that temporal stability. 37 hours and they should start growing. We're going to have to get started on building a tea shop around here at some point so we can have barrels of tea and mushrooms growing. However, that's going to have to wait because in the next episode we desperately need to get some bauxite so we can start doing steel production. Which means in the next episode we're probably going to have to adventure south for the winter. The good thing about that is we won't be affected by snow. Like if we adventure in any other direction we're going to be freezing all the time. So we have to kind of go south. That does mean we'll hopefully get some new fruit types. I do have a peach tree that I marked and I forgot to pick up the thing for the cuttings. So yeah, I'm going to have to stock up on tools and food and maybe even a few jugs worth of wine to bring with us. Also, I might try and bring the stuff we need to make a water wheel just in case we want to make a temporary base out there, a summer house for us to go adventuring to. However, that's all we've got time for in today's episode. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.